So good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure to meet, my name is Maria Becerra. I'm the founder of AI Expedition and your facilitator for today. For those of you who are new to AI Expedition, we are a community founded to make learning about the world of AI accessible for everyone, especially those with non-technical background. And here we don't want to be just about teaching AI. We really want to build a community where everyone grows together, learns, interacts, and gets inspired by others who share the same passion for technology. So I really hope that all of you at the end of this session feel a little bit more knowledgeable about AI and what you can accomplish with this technology. All right, but enough about me, enough about AI Expedition. Let's get to the topic of today on how to build an agent using Microsoft Copilot. So your presenter for today is Andres Tarazona Mora. Andres is an industrial engineer with a master's degree in artificial intelligence and a proven track record in transforming how organizations analyze data and implement both robotic process automation and AI-driven solutions. With a solid foundation in object-oriented programming, he has designed and delivered innovative automation systems that have streamlined operations and significantly boosted efficiency. So today you will witness his passion for technology and his commitment to continuous improvement in action. So with that being said, Andres, I'm going to hand it over to you to walk us through how to build an agent using Copilot Studio.
Thanks, Maria, and hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. As Maria mentioned, I have an experience of robotic process automation. So the last year, 2 years, Microsoft did that movement in investment in AI. They partner with OpenAI, and they find a way that they can bring that AI to all their customers. And that response is what we call today Copilot. You see Copilot right now in almost every Microsoft product, including your laptops. Now, new laptops or Windows laptops has a Copilot key in their keywords. So that's what we are going. And before that, I was working with robotic process automation. It was trying to automate processes that are repetitive, and then they did this movement to Microsoft Copilot, and I was very, very excited about it because I was working with studying in AI. I already had experience with the platform, and they put this new feature in the same platform. That is what is called Power Platform. So I'm going to share my screen. I would like to start explaining what a Copilot is and how this is embedded in all this Microsoft infrastructure. So can you confirm if you can see my screen? Is it visible now?
Yeah, I can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, great. So let's start talking about what a Copilot is. A Copilot, it's a conversational AI-powered assistant, and it's offering contextual assistance for automating routine tasks and analyzing data. Why these keywords are highlighted? It's a contextual assistance. It means that it's grounded on some information. Microsoft offers the integration with all the M365 suite that includes Word documents, Excel documents, your documents on SharePoint, and any other Microsoft system that is available for users. And it's capable of automating those processes. Today, they release a new feature. They say that now you're going to be able to create flows. It's not a single task. You can chain tasks and achieve new things. Probably that will be available in May for all users, but yeah, it was announced today. And this last part that it says analyzing data, that's also in line what was announced today, that now those copilots are going to be able to reason on data. So you can submit your Excel file and get that data analyzed. So it's very exciting to have all those news. So that it's in few words what a copilot is. You're going to find that there are several copilots available. Let me check. I'm not sure if you're able to view this top part, that there is a toggle that it says work and web. There are two different versions of Copilot. One of those ones, it's included in your Microsoft 365 license. If you have a business license or if you have a personal license, you're going to be able to use Microsoft Copilot Web. But there is another feature that is a standalone license that is Microsoft for Work, Microsoft Copilot for Work, and that is a paid license. There are a few differences. I found a video yesterday that it explains really well the difference between those two, so that's what I'm going to show next.
If your company uses Microsoft 365, now anyone can use Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat with enterprise data protection. Now, if you're wondering how this is different from a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, I'll point out a few major areas. First, with Copilot Chat, you need to upload files into your prompt in order for it to reason over your work information. And if you're building agents, those can be directed to work information as a knowledge source, and you're billed based on what you use. On the other hand, with a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, work information that you have access to is directly retrieved from SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, email, and Calendar via the Microsoft Graph, as you're seeing here with this chat example, without you even needing to reference or upload files. And of course, a Microsoft 365 Copilot license includes integrated in-context Copilot experiences across apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. And you can create your own agents that will leverage Microsoft 365 knowledge sources like information in SharePoint, but in this case, they're included with the flat rate Microsoft 365 Copilot license.
Okay, so that is the main difference. You don't need to like reference those documents. That offers a huge advantage on this Copilot that is available for users. The other thing that you're going to find out that there are some features that are available if you have a paid license. There are a separate license for work, like referencing SharePoint sites from Copilot directly in the agent builder, but we can navigate through that in next slides. So there are different options to build Copilot. So when we talk about agents, those agents that are there, you can build your own based on a specific data. Let's say you have different SharePoints where you work and you want information only from one specific SharePoint. It can say, for example, human resources. You have all the policies in a SharePoint site, and you want to retrieve information only from that SharePoint site. In that case, you can build your agent and says, retrieve only information from this site. Do not check for any other document available in the company, because you as a person in a company, you have access to multiple SharePoint sites. If you ask to Copilot from work, you're going to receive information from all those sources. But you can create your custom Copilot that it's grounded on data that you can directly mention. So you can start from here. This is Microsoft 365 Copilot. As it was mentioned, you can use chat. You can use it on different systems from Microsoft Suite, the Office Suite. You also have these role-based agents that are like specific for a specific purpose. You have for sales, you have for customer service, you have Copilot for Azure, and you have Copilot for Power Platform. If you're a developer, you can ask to a Copilot to create a flow for you or modify an app. That is available there. And the third option that you have is build your own agents. So as the first icon that you see here is Microsoft Copilot Studio. This is an IDE when you can declare your agents, you can customize like the behaviors of those agents, and also deploy those agents to where you need them. It either can be a different site, or yeah, we can view those different options that we have available. You also have available Azure AI Foundry. You can create a skill and connect it with Copilot, and you can offer that to your users in your organization or to external sites as well. And the third option is Visual Studio Code. There is an extension for Teams where you can build your custom app that is also behind a Copilot, and it has the same options. All of them, you can ground them on data, you can define their behavior, and you can extend their behaviors with connecting them with flows or skills. And now, if we talk about those options that you have available in Copilot Studio, you can connect them to offering to a call, so because it also has voice assistant. You can deploy them to Teams or Microsoft 365, that is the chat. You can create a demo website if you want to test it, or you can connect it directly to a custom website. Let's say you have an app that is from your company that was built outside of Microsoft, you can connect your Copilot to that custom website. There are several options here. You can see like there are some messaging systems. It's Facebook. Facebook is available too. And you also have customer engagement hub like Genesis that is for telephones. You have Salesforce that is a CRM, ServiceNow that you can connect it here. So there are different ways to connect these agents, and these agents are also capable of interact with those systems. It's not only to do chat, you can also perform actions on those systems. We can talk about those actions later. Now, the effort level of each scenario, it depends on you. Like you can start simple, like you can use just Microsoft 365 Copilot chat to achieve great things in your organization. Or either you can buy a license, Microsoft 365 Copilot, that in this case is Copilot for Work, the other tab that you see there, and that just out there in the video. And you don't need to upload a document every time that you need an analysis on a document. You just can ask in the chat, just analyze the document that I just opened, and it's going to be there. You can also extend, so you can create role-based agents. You can create SharePoint agents that is available there. You can use Agent Builder that is available for Copilot Chat, or you can use Copilot Studio to extend those capabilities, or you can either build. In that case, you're going to use Copilot Studio, but with different features. You can use, as I mentioned, Azure AI Foundry or Visual Studio Code to build those Copilot agents. From left to right, the complexity increase. And one of the examples for this portion, the point one is this one. Well, this combines 1 and 2 because you need a paid license for accessing Copilot on your mail or on Teams. These are top 10 try first recommended by Microsoft. So you can recap a meeting, you can summarize an email thread, you can draft an email, you can summarize a document, and so on. There are different examples here. Here is an example of the prompt that you can put in the chat, and it's going to help you with those tasks. So you can start simple as this one, or you can start building your custom agents. One of those scenarios is this one, like let's connect an agent to this City of Toronto site. So let me go to that site. Let's explore what is in there. This is the City of Toronto site. You're going to find out that there are several offerings here, like community and people, business and economy, explore and enjoy. And yeah, it's basically the city offering for all people in Toronto, and you can find out information here. What if we create an agent that can help us to navigate this site? So in that case, we are going to come here and let's click on create an agent. So as you saw in the video, this is a chat. You can use Copilot here to get like information like what is the capital of France, for example. And this is going to search the internet or use their own knowledge of the LLM to get information, and it's going to give you this information. Sometimes it's if you ask for something specific, you're going to get reference. This one, because it's well-known capital, is not going to provide you a reference or where this is stated. But yeah, or let's say it's list the principles of the Agile Manifesto, for example. Let's see if it provides some reference right now. Oh, not this time. Let's see. Yeah, it's not listing. Probably this is also part of the LLM. Yeah, we can spend the night here trying to find a reference, but we are going to see that later. So this is one way of using it. You can also upload your files and ask questions about the files. Then let's extend it. Let's use this website to get only information from this website. In that case, you can create your own agent, clicking here. This is going to open a Copilot Studio version, but it's called Agent Builder. And you can use this describe section. So you can either configure it directly, providing all these fields, or you can just describe what you want, and that's what we are going to do right now. So let's start with this example. If we go, here are the steps that we're going to follow today. The first one is, let's define what this agent is going to do. In this case, and misplacing the text. Let's see. Okay, now it's corrected. Okay, it's called Toronto Find Info Finder. Well, it looks good. Let's say that, yeah. Then it's going to ask you for more questions about how to create this agent. Now it says, now let's refine the instructions for the agent. Let's define what the agent should do. For example, the agent should help users find information on the City of Toronto website, including services, news, and events. I'm not happy with these instructions because this is limiting what you're able to see here, because here the menu is different. So let's use this Copilot that we have available also here. If you're using Microsoft Edge, I know some people don't like it, but yeah, it's useful sometimes. So you can ask in this site agent what information is available in this site. So it's going to use this site to create some resume about what is in there. And yeah, it says the City of Toronto website offers details about city services, events, and government updates. Destination Toronto is a great resource. Okay, it seems it's not using this site to get information from. Okay, since it just got updated. Okay, let's use this as description for the agent. Okay, the agent show users defined information on the following topics. Enter. Close this site tab. Okay, let's determine if there are publicly accessible data resources. Now it's going to ask us for the URL again. We provided at the beginning, but it's asking for that URL again. You can provide it here. Okay, and it says it's set up. Let's review our instructions again. This is the URL. And let's add some instructions. We want the responses to be short. So in that case, you can ask here. Just copy this section, paste it here. And also that we are asking the user to always provide reference for all the sources. We don't want the agent to make up information about it. And then let's avoid present external links. That's important as well, since it's a restriction that we are putting in the agent. So if it's not in the City of Toronto side, we don't want that to be presented. And now we are set up. You can use this site window to test the agent. So let's ask about this first question or conversation starter that is available there. And as you can see, it's listing all the services that are available there, and it's also providing URLs. Both of them are from the City of Toronto. Let's ask, for example, how can I adopt a pet in Toronto? Now it's referencing all these sites, and it's directing me to adopt a pet. As you can see, it's not even available in the main site of the city of Toronto. It searched the entire website to get that link for me. And yeah, this is one of the capabilities that this Copilot presents. And the good part, it's all the information, it's grounded on only this knowledge source. So it's not going to crawl the entire internet to get that information. It's always presenting you information that you have in a specific site. So once you create it, you will have few options there. Yeah, let's wait for that. You can use this URL to share with others. So you can share those, change the sharing options, and you can share with the entire organization. So your colleagues will have access, or you can provide a specific users in the organization. If you just created an agent just for your team, you can define your team here or a group or an email. So let's leave it for now, only you. Let's copy this, let's paste it, the URL in a new tab. And now it's asking to open that agent. We can close this. As you can see, a new tab is available here. So this tab that you have available here, it's that agent that you just created. So in that case, you can ask here, and you're going to receive that information as well. The same question that we asked before. Now it's presented in a different way. You can define those behaviors if you provide more details in the configuration, like how you want the information to be presented, if you want a table, or if you have or if you want bullet points, that can be configured. So this was the agent. In case that you want to use just the normal Copilot, you just click here on Copilot, and you're going to be able to ask the normal Copilot. Another Copilot that you see available here is this one that is called Ava. Ava, it's a business analyst, and I'm going to present you this interaction I had yesterday. So it's because I want to save time. So here, this is the conversation starter. We just ask that we want to create a new user story, and it's going to ask me what is the main objective. And it says, I want to allow users to log in into an application using Azure Enter ID. Now it's asking me a second question. Can you describe more those objectives of the requirement? And it says Azure Enter ID will be the authentication provider for the application called TNT. Let's say this is the name of the application, allowing the users to use single sign-on. And it says, okay, who will be impacted? Like, who are the stakeholders of the project? In that case, I just mentioned teams that are involved in that user story. And it says, can you confirm the technology? And I'm just mentioned it's a React app, and it's using a Microsoft single sign-on library. And it says, okay, awesome. What are the specific outcomes that you are expecting? I just made up some goals that we are trying to achieve. And then it's asking, okay, here's the summary of your business requirements. And I say, looks good, and this is what it's coming with. It's dividing that single requirement into different user stories. It's providing this description of the user story. It's also providing the system acceptance criteria, and it's creating one for each of the goals that we have available there, like integration with Microsoft, the security compliance, because I mentioned the security was important for me, and it's also creating this user authentication. So this is a few things that you can achieve here. If you want to see, okay, what was provided for that? In that case, let's check this agent. These are the instructions, so I can expand this more. And I defined the entire interaction, what questions I wanted to ask, the style guidelines, and some examples of how the conversation should look like, and some responses that are expected. So this can be defined. As you can see, it has 8,000 characters limit. So it's very broad. You can define very specific instructions here. And I strongly recommend you to use this as much as possible. Don't leave an agent just simple like this one that we just did, that it has only few lines. So this, it's as you saw before, if you ask this question again, it's going to provide different response. So you can craft a different special prompt to provide always or the same response, or at least reduce the variation that you have there. Okay, that was the first demo I wanted to present today. The second one, okay, this was the second one, the AVA one, and this is a screenshot of what was presented. The third scenario that was there, it's this Copilot. It's Microsoft 365 Copilot, and it's intended to be shared in an external website. As you see here, there's a cool company website that is being used as a source of those documents. This cool company website exists. And if you click on home, you're going to be able to, yeah, it's a SharePoint site. You have few documents here. This is a company that has engagements with two colleges. One of those is Bill Oates College. The other one is called Woodgrove. And this is an MSA document. That's a master service agreement. It has some information about the engagement they have. And also they have an NDA, and it has also a statement of work for that college. For this one, we have the same set of documents. So what we are going to do now is let's use Copilot Studio. That is the second way to create an agent. So in that case, you will be able to access that Copilot Studio using this URL. This is a paid license. It's different from this license that you have available here, that even this one, it says Copilot Studio, but it doesn't have available all the features that you have available there. So this is a more specialized IDE that you can use to build agents as well. As you can see here, you can create agents from blank that is available here. You have the same experience. You can describe the agent and create it. Leave. There are also predefined agents that you can, like this is a kind of a blueprint for an agent. So if you click, like, for example, this safe travels, it has a predefined instruction. It also have a predefined knowledge, and you can use this just right away if you want, or you can customize it. It's not the final agent. Use this only as a starter for the agent. The other option that you have available there is this Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365. And these copilots that you see here are, if you click New Agent, let's skip to Configure. If you're familiar with what you have here, is the same set of options. The only few difference here is these additional settings. Like if you want to enable or disable web browsing, you are going to be able to do so. And the other difference is here, you can also add SharePoint sites. In this other one, there is no way to add SharePoint sites if you don't have a Copilot for Work. If you have Copilot for Work, you're going to be able to do so. And another feature here is this Dataverse will be available soon as well. So you can connect it here, but for now it's not available. So these agents that you see here are the same ones that we created. If you don't have a special configurations to create that are needed for the agent that you're creating, you can use this agent builder. That is easier, and you don't need a paid license for Microsoft Copilot Studio. So what we can do in Copilot Studio, let's create an agent that is connected to the SharePoint site. Let's start with that. Let's select new agent. I just want to skip the configure. And in this case, I already have some idea of what I want to create. In this case, I want to create a Microsoft 365 Copilot that is for the cool company. So let's call cool company agent. And a description, I already have a description for the agent that I want to build, is this one. So you are an executive assistant dedicated to help me enhance my relationships with different clients, respond to questions about different engagements. Okay, and few guidelines. This description, it's only this section, but any other information will be added later in this section that is called instructions. So what information should I add? If you go here, you're going to be able to view the structure, what you need to add. In this case, the purpose is this part that you see as description. And then you start with guidelines. You provide general directions, you set the tone for the agent, you provide some restrictions and any other information that you consider relevant, like avoid bias in the responses. Well, that should be available already, but you can also mention that part there. And you can define also avoid these words. So like if you want to avoid some terminology to be used in the agent, you can also explain that in the guidelines. And this second part that is called skills, you can define different skills and you can define the structure of those skills. One example of those ones is this one, like a skill that is, this is the skill that we want to build. You're an assistant. When a user asks information about a client, ask for the client name, then provide the information requested. You can provide the steps that needs to be followed by during that skill, and you can define an example of the interaction that the agent will have. Here are a few limitations on your error handling. You can define that, and for example, non-standard terms. This SOW that you have in the documentation, it's broadly used in documents that are created when you're working with clients. But sometimes the agent doesn't know that, or you have some acronym that is only available at the company where you work at. So you can define those acronyms here. So let's copy these instructions, paste them there. Now we can define starter prompts if you want. What are the starter prompts? It's these ones that you see here, or if you click on an agent, this is the information that you are going to be able to see here. So these are the starter prompts. So you can define one of those. By default, it's adding several. Seems that I cannot add just one, so it's always asking for 6. Let's cancel for now. But yeah, this is the idea. So you can define the title, and as soon as you click, it's going to place this text. It's like a shortcut for the user of the agent. So that's what you see here. This is the title and the prompt that is prompted in the chat window. And let's add the knowledge. So in this case, we're going to use SharePoint as knowledge. You can browse files here. And let's select the site that we want to use. I just confirm the selection and I click on add. Now, you are ready to create agent. Let's test it. So this window that you see here, it's the test window. So you can test your agent without deploying it. Get me information about which college. This one, for example, Woodgrove College. Could you provide the specific information you're looking from Woodgrove College? Okay, and it's asking for what details I need. I need the address of the college. Let's check if that is in the documentation. Oh, it's just looping again. Okay, I need the contact information of the college. Okay, it seems it's looping. One of the recommendations from Microsoft is that you will need to always iterate over the prompt that you're having here. So in this case, let's remove this structure of the conversation, the example. Let's leave only these instructions that we have here, and let's try to refresh the agent. Okay. Give me information. Yes. It's asking always to confirm the name of the client, and it's not listing the information that we have available there. Let's remove that part as well. It is not providing a reference to okay, let's do that. All responses must have a reference to a document. If this, we can save. Let me copy this information. Let's refresh it. Let's ask again. Okay, it seems that our prompt is not working as expected. So let me remove this part. Probably it's the one that is causing the agent to loop on the confirmation of the client. Yes. Okay, I found out where I did the mistake. So one of the things that you can control here is allow the AI to use their own information. So let's disable this, and let's force the agent to only use the documents on the SharePoint side. So if we click here, let's try it again, asking the same question. And it says that there is no information about it. Let's ask about the other college. Called Bellwoods. No, Bellows. Okay, now it's referencing this college. So let's click here, and you can open it in your Word document. You're going to be able to see the information that it's available in the site. This is similar as you just click here and open to edit the file. So as you can see, the agent will be able to retrieve that information. You can see those steps here on the site. And let's confirm this should be the address of the college. Validate that information is correct. And as you see, yes, it's the correct information. It's getting the information from this document, and it's listening from where that information is coming. It's, yes, document 1, the first one that we open. And that's one of the capabilities. Of course, it requires a lot of iteration. As you saw, I had to remove most of the prompt that I had available there. Yeah, so let's move to the next part. I want to explain about these Copilot agents. What is the difference between this simple one and this one that you have here? Another section that you're going to have available here, it's this one that is called topics. There are two types of topics. One is the custom topics, and the other one is the system topics. These ones are ones that you can customize and you can define. Of course, these ones you can change the wording that is in them, but they are always needed by the agent to work. A few of them are more important that you have here is this escalate in case like you're always asking like, please reach out an agent or agent. If the user keeps typing this, you can escalate that and move that to a different channel where a person and not an agent is attending those messaging. That part can be configured here. This is the conversational boosting where it's searching for information on the knowledge source. The other one that you have here is the conversation start. You can modify how the agent is greeting the user. That can be modified here, and so on. This one that is called custom, it's topics that you can define. So if you have a workflow for how to manage the conversation, you can define that workflow here. You can select create a new topic, and let's say create new college or new client. Ask the user to create to create a new document for a new college to be added. Ask for the name, the address, the point of contact, and send an email to inform the manager of the new client added. Let's see if also this creates the send email. And these are trigger phrases. So what trigger phrases means is if you type create new client here in the chat, it's going to call this topic. And this topic that is called create new client, you can modify these trigger phrases. Here is where you can define like what information you are asking for. Like this is the first question that is being asked, the second question, the third question, and so on. And this is a message. As you can see here, the send email was not added, but you can configure that. I can explain that. And that, once I save it here, this part of sending an email can be added here on actions. So what actions are connectors. And what connectors are, it's all what you have available in Microsoft. It's available here through to the Graph API. So the Graph API, it's kind of where Microsoft exposed most of its services that are available in the Microsoft 365. So you can connect it to SharePoint, to your calendar, to your email, to an Excel file. You can run a Power Automate desktop that is a program that it takes control of your computer and it can perform actions on your behalf. You have also other connectors available here, like these forecasts from MSN Weather. You can have, for example, I think there are ServiceNow. Yeah, you can connect it to ServiceNow and get information about list the records that I have available for me or list my incidents. That is also available here. So it's not only Microsoft, it's also information that you have available in other systems that you can connect here. So for this example, let's create a business case. So one of the functions of an user of this agent that can include here is create event. Let's say that I want to create an event in my calendar to meet this college for doing my work. So one of the things that you're going to see here is this checkbox. If it's the first time that you're using Microsoft 365 Outlook in their agent, it's going to prompt you a window. What that window is, it's asking you for your permission to provide access to your email. So you can provide that access just clicking here, and those permissions will be listed here, like read your user's profile, your update and delete your emails, asking access also for events, that means your calendar, and it's asking access to your contacts. Select next. And this is what is needed to create an event. So the inputs are like the calendar ID, the subject, the start time and time zone, and so on. And this is the information that is provided in response. So let's add this action. If you think like this as a robot, as a physical robot, you have here the overview that it's the mindset of the robot. Here is the memory of the robot, what information it has available, and these actions. This is kind of the arms or the legs of the robot. So actions are extensions of the agent that can perform actions. So one of the things that you're going to be able to experience here is you can ask like create an event to meet the Bellow's College. So you can ask for that. And what happened here? So what happened is, I'm not sure what you're asking for. I couldn't find this information in my knowledge source. And right now, this event or this action that you have here, it's not visible to the agent. How can we fix that? If you see here, it says that you have to enable generative AI for the agent to be able to interact with this event. So you can go to the settings. You can click here, or you can just click on settings. You go to generative AI, and you can ask generative AI to take control of the agent. So here we are going to select high or more precise because we don't want to hallucinations in the agent. We just click on save. And we are ready to go. Let's ask again. So get me information about the Bellow's College. Now as you see here, it's not taking predefined actions on topics. It's thinking itself. The AI is trying to find out what is the best road to find this information. Now let's create an event for the next Thursday to meet Bellow's College. Click next. And now what happened? It says we have missing information. So going back to the idea of a physical robot, if you want to walk, you have to move one leg, then move the other leg. What happened here? It was trying to move the second leg before moving the first one. And the first one that we needed is find this information, the calendar ID. We don't have that information anywhere. So what we need to do is add another action. Calendars. And here is this one that is called get calendars. This is going to allow the agent to find the calendar ID that we need to use. As you see, this is already granted the permission. We just need to add the action and select add action. And let the agent work on that. So let's provide this one. I forgot to mention at what time we want to meet the Bellow's College. At 8 a.m. I think we need to refresh the agent. Get me information about the Bellow's College. Have a typo here. Getting the knowledge sources, it found these two documents. And well, at the end, it was just one document, the one that it found with that information. Create, okay, I already have it in at 8 a.m. Now it's asking me to connect to consent access to my calendar. Submit. Let's retry this event. Now it's fetching the information about the calendar and it's providing the ID. And if we go back to check our calendar, see here, it says that it's meeting at 4 a.m. What happened here? So one of the parameters that you see here, it's the time zone, and it's referring to the time zone is UTC. So we need to modify the agent to indicate we are working on EST. You shouldn't provide or create a meeting at 4 a.m. So in that case, we don't want the agent to provide that input by itself at this direction here, time zone. So in that case, instead of identify that dynamically, we are going to set a value. We confirm this, and we are going to select that we want this to be Eastern time, that is -5. We click on save. Let's delete this event because I don't want this event to be created. Go on, and let's ask again. This time I didn't ask for the information about the college. It was not needed. Now it says that the event was created and you can see it here. It says 8 a.m. So it's correct. Okay, we are ready. We finish our agent. Let's say I want this to be used not here because not all people will have access to Copilot Studio. I want to deploy this. So one way to do that is coming here where it says channels. Just select Teams. In this case, if we want this to be available to Microsoft 365 Copilot, you can do it here. And it's asking, I think that we need to publish this agent first. Yes. Let's publish our changes. Let's add this channel. Let's edit these details. Let's change the icon, for example. It's the cool company logo. It says I want this to be white. So on. Short description. You can provide additional information like your developer name. Let's say it was Andres. Can provide other information here like this SharePoint site. The website also for privacy statement and terms of use. Let's click on save. And you're going to be able to click here and see it on Teams. If you open Teams, you're going to be prompted to, yes, okay, this app is not found because this is not the agent, this is not the user. Let's close this one. Let's try to use the web app instead. Okay, yeah, this is the correct tenant. It's going to ask me to add this as a separate agent. So if you think this is kind of a standalone app for Teams that you can use to interact with, and yeah, okay, you can open it in Copilot, or you can use it here under the chat. If you see here, you can ask like, get me information about, let's try again, like, what was the name? Woodgroove. I need the address of let's see if this time it works. Okay, no, it seems it keeps looping again. Let's get information about bellows. Yeah. Okay, and as you see here, it's also listing from where the information is coming. You can click and open those files. The same experience that you have on the side window that you have is available here. So this is grounded to only one SharePoint site. The other thing that you can ask is you can ask also like create events. Create a meeting for next Wednesday at 1 p.m. at Bellows College. I hope this time it adds the address. So as you can see here, it's again asking, okay, you need me to provide me access to your calendar. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to provide that, to create that event. Once we do that, it's going to show us connected. This is one-time configuration. This was because it was the first time that we asked. Okay, and it says the meeting was successfully created. If we go back to the calendar, yes, it's here, next Wednesday, 1 p.m., Bellows College. It didn't add the address, but we can configure that in Actions. So yeah, this is one way that you can create your agents. You can extend the capabilities of the agents. You don't need to specifically mention like it needs to create, get the calendars, then create the event. That is automatically identified by the user. Of course, you can do that as a topic. So if you can add a topic like this, create new client, you can define the step-by-step, like get calendars, then create event, and send a confirmation to the user or something like that. That can be specified in that way. But what is the beauty of the GenAI is it can identify what it needs to be called. And you can put too many actions here, all the actions that you want, and you can just ask in the chat and the agent is going to be able to identify which action to call. So yeah, that was one of, that was the last demo that I wanted to present today. I have few references here. I want to add the two ones that I saw today, that is the reasoning part of Copilot and also that one, and the analysis of tables of documents. That's another link that I'm going to put here. But this user story creation, this is one of the persons that I follow on LinkedIn. It has the step-by-step of how this agent was created and the prompts that were used if you want to try it yourself. Of course, I'm going to share this prompt as well. And yeah, there are other documents here, like how to set up a Copilot trial. If you want to do it this with your personal account, you can create this and you will have access 1 month to Copilot Studio and Copilot to create your own agents and have some hands-on experience. So yeah, it's 8:03. Sorry for the delay, but I'm open for questions and happy to stay here a few minutes longer if you have any.
Thank you so much, Andres. That was a very insightful conversation. And thank you for all the 3 demos that you walk us through. I'm sure that now people have a lot of ideas on how they can start implementing this at work or even in their personal projects. So before we wrap up things, just wanted to really quickly present this certificate for your time today. Thank you so much for your commitment to our community. And with that being said, just gonna remind everyone to follow AI Expedition on LinkedIn and join our community on Discord. Now, whoever wants to leave. I know it's 8:04, can do it, but for those of you who want to stay over, there is a question from Victoria who is asking, what are the 3 greatest benefits that you have found using AI agents? You're on mute, Andres.
I missed that. So agents, it creates or facilitates the way that you can interact with automations. Of course, RPA won't be gone for a long time for now because there are still legacy systems available there. But of course, this allows the users to interact with those automations that already exist. It also reduces significantly the amount of time that you spend searching for information, as you have the city of Toronto. Maybe adopt a pet, it's something that it can take you a few minutes to search, but you can just in less than 10 seconds get an answer where to call and what information is needed. And even I think it was listed there, like the amount, the payment that you have to do depending if you want to adopt a cat or a dog. So that information is resolved for you and you don't need to spend more time on that. And you can redirect that effort to other tasks or that can improve the time that you spend doing your work. Of course, Microsoft has some strategies on how to measure the time that is safe. I'll be happy to share that presentation with you, like how to establish those metrics for like calculate the time that you're saving.
That would be very helpful. And there is another question from Surya. Nice to see you, Surya. Surya wants to know if the agent has ever hallucinated earlier while creating the meeting in the calendar. She has faced hallucinations while building an agent using another tool at work. So your insights would be helpful.
Well, the best way to reduce hallucination is providing like detailed prompts and also establish some guardrails. The most basic one is do not made up information like the calendar ID. The agent it's capable right now to made up a number for the calendar ID, and of course the creation of the event will fail. In this case, this is a mandatory parameter for creating an event, and it was asked. It didn't ask in a proper way, it just was showing an error there. Probably if it's deployed without having that previous step, it's going to show that an error occurred with the agent and is not able to create the event. So that's why also testing is very important. You have to establish good techniques for testing. I think I missed to show that part, but there is a way that you can see the usage of the documents. You can see if all the documents are being used or which ones are more used more than others. You can also see like how helpful the agent has been for people. So if people abandon the conversation halfway, that means that you have to improve your agent as well. So yeah, there are a few things that you can, a few tools that you will have available in Microsoft Copilot. Of course, the transcript of the conversation are also safe, so you can analyze what the what the users are prompting the user for the agent for, and you can analyze and check if that's something that you can improve.
Thank you for that. There is another question about which AI tool would you say is best to introduce, I guess, for an intro for senior citizens to use this to amplify their knowledge and life experiences, such as Copilot versus Julius AI or other. Yeah, which other AI tools would you say is best for senior citizens to amplify their knowledge, such as Copilot?
Okay. Well, I think most of them have similar capabilities. If you think right now, OpenAI also have agents, Gemini have GMAS. So all the tools are moving towards that. If you're thinking about like an easy way to use an LLM and search the web, all of them offer those capabilities. Microsoft Copilot offers the voice interaction, the same for other large LLMs that you have available, like Gemini, Anthropic, and OpenAI also they have the way that you can ask using simple and plain words and interact with the agent. And probably, yeah, you can interact with other systems as well without without the need of explicitly mention, okay, I need to create an event. You don't need, even for those ones, to explicitly mention, I need to do this step first, this second step, then this third step. You can mention in words, and I think that they democratize the usage of the LLMs. Of course, this one is in case in enterprise context, you will want to have more control on what the agent is doing, and this is why these tools are needed. Like you can define the path of the conversation. But for senior citizens that don't want to spend much time on that, that option is available. And I think that most LLMs are capable of doing that.
Thank you. And there is one other question from Levi. The question is, I'm particularly interested on analyzing data, for instance, from Excel spreadsheets. Can we do that using same or similar concepts as the one presented today?
Yes, and I will let you know. Well, I can tell you, let's wait till May because it's Microsoft Build Conference. They are going to release a lot of new features. Today it was announced these Excel capabilities, that analysis. It was reasoning on entire tables of data, and you can ask like complex questions and complex analysis to them. It's not available right now. You can do simple analysis today, but it will be better. And yeah, I can share that will be in the reference of this deck that we are going to share.
Sounds good. Thank you. And I don't see any other questions. So again, thank you so much, Andres, for your time today, for sharing all your expertise. And thank you to every one of you who made time to join this session and learn a little bit more about the fascinating world of AI. See you next month with another topic. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.